Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Let's Play Planet Zoo as we are finally back in Austin Zoo, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a while, but we are back building a brand new section to the zoo. Kind of getting near the end, so we are getting to that point where I'm trying to figure out how to kind of finish this one off. And so I figured one thing that we are missing, we're missing some big cats. And so that's kind of what this section is. Now we have laid out some of the groundwork as far as already kind of having an idea where we want the habitat to be at, how we want them shaped, and their grandiose size that we always give our habitats, right? So, which one are we building right now? You got to ask yourself, right? We are building a lion habitat. Big cats is what this episode is all about. You know what I mean? Big predators. It's one of the biggest attractions to the zoo. And honestly, I think I was probably in the first grade when the first time I ever heard I think it was a tiger ended up roaring at the San Antonio Zoo. And I mean, he gave he gave everything he had on that one. I'll tell you that much. On his little roar that he gave. And it's always, at that point, I've always been fascinated with them. I love these exhibits. It's one of the prime ones I always go to, any zoo I'm ever at. I love going to see the big cats. And so that's kind of what inspired this one and brought this one on. Getting set up, you got to have them. You just got to have these. Is it really a zoo without them? The answer is no. No, it's not a zoo without them, right? So that's what we're going to be working on. Now, we do have 4 big cats going into this section, right? And I'll tell you right now, these first ones that we have coming up that you're seeing right now be built is going to be for our lions. Now, the housing section for them is fairly basic. Don't go too overboard with it. Just give them a nice little covered section, something that they can enjoy and keep them away from people. Let them go in whenever they want to. They don't want to deal with everybody staring at them. Kids throwing stuff at them. Not my kids would ever do that, but I've seen people do it, and it's ridiculous, and it's annoying, and so I can see why they might want to, have some space to themselves. So that's kind of what we got going on right now is their little housing section. It's a basic square building, nothing special about it whatsoever. Just kind of doing some... I really don't go too detailed with this or any of them that we see. I do cover them up so it kind of looks more nature-ish, more foliage kind of around them. So it's just not some big, massive brick, cinder block, stone building. The ivy stuff does get used quite often today in this episode to kind of cover these things up. But what else do we also have coming in? We're going to be doing some custom fencing in this episode. And to be fair, it's been quite a while since I've actually recorded this, so I'm not 100% certain if the fence that we do build is in it. We will have a live portion later on in the episode where that will be displayed. So you'll get a good look at that one. And here, man, this happens to me all the time. I have animal welfare turned off. But for some reason, they still get all mad and uppity about stuff. So I check them out. I try to help them out around the zoo as much as I can, much to my chagrin. But, it is just part of having a zoo. Now, once again, I know I've seen people, I've had it mentioned before, the massive size of these habitats. And, you're right. They are huge, but I think an animal would prefer it. I want my animals to be happy. I want them to enjoy being in there. So that's kind of always the main theory I have is the more space for them, the better. If you think about it, in nature they have, no fences around them, and now they're surrounded by it, fences and people gawking at them. So give them as much space as you can, really. Just kind of doing some of these little detailing work. We will be putting in education boards, as I said, fences. We're also going to have some shaded areas to kind of provide people with some shade going in, and you'll see some of that stuff as we kind of build along through these. Now, as we do have 4 big cats, it's going to be lion, tiger, cheetah, and jaguar. That's what we got going in. Like I said, you'll see two of them. That was a lion. I'm not telling you which other one you're going to be getting. That will be a surprise for you to see. Okay? So yeah, that's what we kind of got going on. You see some other stuff around the zoo that we're going to need to be working on, like right now, how we have that restaurant area and stuff. That will all be finished up at a later time. So we'll worry about that as we get to it. You know what I mean? And speaking of the fence, look at that going in right now. It is on the vidya. Nice. I like it. Turns out pretty well. Let me know in the comments what y'all thought of the fence. If it's something that, hey, looks pretty good, or if you have any suggestions on how to make it better, let me know down below. Definitely. I appreciate that type of stuff as much as I can get it. So, yeah. So this is going to be quite a long one. Actually, not quite a long one. It's only the 2 habitats, so that's about 12 minutes worth of the speed build, and then we will have our live portion after that. I said 12 minutes worth of speed build is, man, I want to say close to 6.5, 7 hours worth of actual build time, give or take. This build did take a few days in total to do. So it took a while, and I really like how it turned out. So I definitely hope y'all, I really do hope y'all enjoy it also. Other than that, I will let y'all kind of watch this whole thing come together, and I will see y'all in the live portion. So check in with y'all here in a little bit, everybody. And we are here in our live portion. If you've held on with us up until now, thank you all very much. And welcome back to the sultry sounds of me. Awkward, maybe. Oh well. All right. So that was a speed build of only 2 of the habitats. I didn't do them all because, once again, if I were to do that, it would take forever. I mean, these things may not look like I spend all day on them or a lot of time on them. It's just because I make it look so effortless, I know. But no, this stuff takes a pretty dang good grip to actually build. So I do only show a couple habitats being built at a time out of the grouping. And this is one whole section. Y'all saw it earlier in the sign, Cat Alley. And so we're going to take a look at these habitats a little bit differently now. This first one is obviously our tiger habitat, right? And once again, I realize you can't put that many tigers in there, so we do only have 2 of these things in. Um, and then that works out for the best. One, they're definitely a happier animal. And 2, it gives them plenty of space to roam and feel comfortable so you're not having fights, you're not having them be angry, stressed, like basically every animal in our zoo seems like at times. Um, and I think it just works out better for them overall. This is a completely seaming it off section just because ran out of space. The water didn't really work, and trying to have them climb the edges wasn't going to cut it. So I did build the platforms there, and it kind of stretches out. One, because look at a shot like that. So let me go down safely behind our barrier. And look at it. If you're some kid and you see a tiger up that close to you, that's just beautiful right there. And so that was kind of the idea. Ooh, excuse me. That's kind of the idea of building the platforms. And he fell in. Clumsy little feller. Um, in that section. So they have plenty of nature space, plenty of the toys, the scratching posts, the little meat bags, other toys, feeding sections. We got lots of things for them to do to stay busy. And once again, their housing unit, just like with all of the um, exhibits here in our cat section, they are all at the back. They got fairly decent size, so that way if people do start stressing them out or if they want to get away, they have that opportunity to actually get away. And so, yes, children may be disappointed, but so be it. It's a risk I'm willing to take. It's not going to hurt my feelings if they get a little upset because they may not get everything they want. Next here, as I completely lose control of my mouse and camera angles. Next one, we got ourselves the cheetahs, these fast little buggers. And I kind of took with the cheetahs the same point of view as I did with kind of the some of the primates over there. Build a section down lower, so start the thing up high where it's kind of at eye level, then let it drop down lower, so that way they can get closer. And we still have a gap that keeps people safe, right? So, woo, look at that fella go, hauling keister all the way across. Oh, guess he's running laps or something at this point. But it allows the cheetahs to come down close and stay down here so people can get a clean view of them. But at the same time, they have enough space in the back. If they wanted to, they could easily, just kind of go back there and rest, kind of like how that one's doing right now. And so that's kind of how that worked out. And I really like this fence that goes along there. I do like how it looks. It fits in with our shading and our education sign holder. Just as an example right there on the left. But it fits in perfectly with it, and it kind of holds true all the way through these cat exhibits. Now, like I said, the tiger has the other one because one, tigers, I think we all can agree a tiger is more badass than a cheetah. That's just science, right? It's fact. 60% of the time that's right every time. You know what I mean? But also they have a platform they can get up on. The cheetahs cannot. And I had to make sure that because I had to fill this section in with rocks to ensure that they couldn't get up at one part right over there. So, but this one turned out pretty dang well. And if you see, the people are running up to it, getting good eye level shots of the ooh, look at them jumping. Good shots of the cats right there, doing what they do during the day. So I think this one worked out pretty well, and it was one of my favorites to build. Doing these little wall sections coming across like this. This luckily enough was straight that I didn't have to do a whole lot of curves for it. Unlike the tiger one, that was a pain. But this, I think, worked out pretty well. And I really like how that does look. It gives you that kind of feel of this is really where the people in and this is where the animals begin. It's kind of that separator and that little safety mark that knowing they can't just climb up those cement blocks. You know what I mean? Ooh, dude is going to town on whatever the hell that was in there. Ooh, yummy. So yeah, that's going to be our cheetahs. Now, let's take a look over. Got one more. Actually, we have a couple more of these signs. All right, so this is only the second one. So Cat Alley, just let you know if you come off the primate section, come down that little bridge and towards the poly bears, and then decide, now let me come back over here. Boom, Cat Alley. That's where you're at. That's where you're walking to. Big old killer felines coming to get you. You know what I mean? And so that's how that works. Now we're going to move on up to this next level, and this habitat is going to be the jaguars. And this is one of the funnest habitats to build. I love how this little corner worked out perfectly for the water. Gives them something to play in, to do, to swim around. And that gives people a chance to look down in there and see them, you know, watch them do stuff. They get a high perspective. So everybody, even the small little kids, get a chance to see the whole habitat as it is. And the little playpen, or not pen, but climbable structure. I liked building that. I think it went pretty well. It is fairly basic, I would say, um, but I had a good time building it, and it turns out it looks pretty dang good, right? I mean, these are jaguars for Christ's sakes. They're not, kings and queens, but I think it looks good for them. It's a good spot to be in. And all right, on cue. This one's going right up it. Look at them playing with it. I guess not really playing as they are moping, but either way, they're using it. That's what it's there for. All right. So yeah, this was probably one of my funner structures. One of my more fun structures to build out of this whole section as in general. And this habitat, really, I enjoyed this habitat greatly. Building, I had a good time with it because sometimes these things can get kind of tedious, long, and drawn out, especially when you're putting in fences or cement walls and barriers going up, having to put in the custom fencing all the way around. But not with this one. This turned out something that I just enjoyed inc- just incredibly to do, and I think it turns out pretty well. So, there's our jaguars. Now the I don't know why they call lions king of the jungle. The lions are not in the jungle; they're in the safari. I guess king of the safari. That's what I'm gonna. Ooh, got something happening over here. These people are getting all geared up. A couple of lions duking it out, maybe. No, they're just playing. Um, but this is our lion habitat. Now that I've mentioned them a couple times, I call this the habitat of Simba. Not really, but same theory as with the jaguars as far as the water. It gives them plenty of water, makes them feel more natural going down to the watering hole to get water instead of drinking it out of some little bathtub type looking thing. And this space, the you know, I say that I think I've said this on just about every episode, but the massive amount of space they have, yes, it is way too big than what the minimum requirement is. But for the number of lines that we do have in here, the one male, and I think we have about 6 females in there. Uh, that turns out just perfect for them. Gives them plenty of space to roam and to play around and have food without having too much competition for everything. And then you have the rocks for them to climb up on, little bridge to go across. And here's a little speaker box for a person, but no one's there right now. And so I think this turns out pretty dang well. This habitat, it may not have technically been the funnest one to build, but once again, you gotta love staring down at a big old predator like that, or the jaguars, or the tigers. Cheetahs ain't the biggest, but they're still predators nonetheless. Knowing you staring at a lean, mean, killing machine bred by nature. Um, for that. And these animals are just amazing. Like, look at this. Look at this guy licking his paw. Cute little feller. All right, sitting right by the poo on the feeding trough. That ain't right. Need to get some. Jeez, they just been deucing all over the place. Need to get someone over here to clean this place for God's sakes. I'll have to take care of that off camera, obviously. So yeah, those are the 4 habitats we did build. Now, some other changes were made off camera, and you're kind of seeing them, but kind of not. So I'd mentioned the signs. So saw the first sign at the beginning of the live portion, and we saw the back of the second. Well, here's the third. Boom, it's the same sign. I didn't change anything up. Just keeping the motif, you know what I mean? And then boom, here's the fourth one. So you come down right off this. Like, oh, look at them pretty cute little monkeys. Oh no, they started throwing their deucer. I'm running. Ooh, look, cats. Gotta like that. Let me come over here. And then you stop and just amazement and pure wonder of, look at all this nature work that was put in. Wow. That's what I put in to fill the area. Honestly, that's all this is, just space filler. I couldn't put another restaurant there. I already have this one right over here by the primate section. And so, that didn't feel right. And once again, I think if Austin was to have a zoo, it would be something that you'd see a bunch of nature, and you'd probably see some pretty good gaps between habitats. The one we have now, like I said, it's a recovery zoo, but it's pretty cramped in. And so now between the smaller animals like the monkeys, and I say monkeys as in they only have the small monkeys, and a couple other lizards and crap. Between those, and then you get to the lion habitat, where they have wolves and stuff. There is a little space between there, right? And rightfully so. You really don't always want predator and prey right next to each other. Just not a good idea. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what inspired the space. And I think once again, ideally this would be in Austin, so we would see a ton of nature going all the way around. Now, would it be this filled in? Maybe not, but I think this works perfectly. It keeps things hidden. So if you're like coming up here, you're going, oh, look, oh, I'm in the bushes. Oh, God. Okay, there we go. Whew. Coming up here. Oh, look, cat alley. Oh, how nice. Wonder what cats they have over here. And then you swing way out wide over the lake, and then you walk up and go, oh, my God, look at those jaguars. Ain't that awesome? So, yeah, that was kind of the thought of just filling that in with nature. And same thing as we trail around here in our other lake that we made by the polar bears, right? We knew this space was going to be a lake, and I wasn't sure how I was going to fill it in. You can think, okay, well, maybe shopping areas. No, I have that, which is going to be built off camera, this whole section over there. But so when I put the lake in this nice little rim around it, rocks primarily, Austin is just filled with a bunch of damn rocks underneath the dirt. You ain't gonna dig but maybe a few inches before you hit your rocks too. So you can always, obviously in Austin, would have a bunch of rocks, and then fill in the grass just because, well, grass always seems to find a way to grow anywhere, whether it's concrete or rocks. It's gonna grow in between it. And so now this little empty section and kind of right around here, this is a shopping section. This will all be filled in with nature. We're gonna have ourselves a little bridge, shopping area, stuff like that to kind of keep it going. Basically, kind of finish off this whole section. And now in the next episode, you're looking, going, wow, big old blanket. How many more exhibits could he fit in this whole section with as big as those are? Well, I'm going to tell you, one. That's all I'm fitting. One exhibit. This is our safari ride. From front to back of the zoo. Not all the way back. I'll probably just fill in trees, but from about to right, yeah. We're looking at having the whole safari ride reach all the way around. Tons of animals in it. Going to be extremely lively. And then right in here in these two open spaces, some more mass animals that we can try. Maybe something like flamingos, I think. I'll probably definitely put in flamingos here. This may just end up being filled in with more nature. I haven't really decided that yet, but I guarantee you all that stuff would be off camera from the actual episode, most likely. So look forward to that. Now, I said next episode is a safari that will fill up the area, fill up our zoo, and this would be the last. The safari episode will be the last build episode. After we get that done, I'll finish detailing the parking lot and stuff, obviously. But we'll do a walkthrough once we're done with our safari section, and that'll be the end of the Austin Zoo at that point. And it'll be an exciting thing to kind of finish off and get done with, and do the walkthrough for y'all. Hopefully, it's not another. I don't know. Has it been a month or so? Probably. Um, Fingers crossed. That's not how it is. Things have just been crazy with summertime. I'm doing stuff with the family during summer. Now that school's back, well, now we're doing a bunch of stuff with school. Um, Trying to find time with all the other stuff that we got going on here at Champ and Sons, also on the channel. So, well, we'll see how long it takes, but I promise you, we are looking at 2 more episodes to finish off this zoo, and then I will be back. I have a feeling, and Planet Coaster. Been watching a lot of some Nerd Chacho, that guy, and some of his stuff, and it's fantastic, entertaining, and it's one of those things that really inspires you to play a game. So that's probably what um, our next series like this will be. Is going to be Planet Coaster once we get done with this zoo. So, like all these people running, I got to kind of get out of here, and I'm going to leave y'all with some final shots of our lovely felines playing around and just some good little shots of them. Uh, so, with that in mind, remember to hit the subscribe button. If y'all are not subscribed already, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you did like today's video, or you like big cats, or hell, I guess if you like cats in general, go ahead and give us a thumbs up because that really does help out the channel. And I promise you, we do greatly appreciate everything that y'all do for us here at Champ and Sons. So once again, kind of thank y'all for joining us. I'll see y'all in the next episode. And well, I think y'all kind of know how it goes. Um, so see you later, and stay safe, everybody. Well, see ya.